Hi, welcome back. Our previous lesson was on market failure. Today we'll be looking at deadweight loss. So deadweight loss refers to the loss of economic efficiency that occurs when the equilibrium quantity and price of a good in a market are not at the optimal level. So this situation usually arises due to market failure, which reduces economic surplus. Deadweight loss is the difference between the largest possible economic surplus, which occurs at the efficient quantity, and the actual level of economic surplus. So deadweight loss can be found using this formula, which is the economic surplus at the efficient quantity minus the actual economic surplus. Now, we remember that economic surplus and deadweight loss focus on marginal benefit and marginal cost. We showed in our previous lesson that economic surplus is equal to your marginal benefit minus marginal cost. And this is represented as the area between the marginal benefit and marginal cost curve out to the quantity. So on this curve, this shaded area represents our economic surplus. So in equilibrium, where the marginal cost equals to the marginal benefit, at point A, the highest possible economic surplus is the shaded area here. And the corresponding quantity to this equilibrium level is the efficient quantity. Now assume that there is some sort of market failure and the actual quantity is less than the efficient quantity. So this area now becomes our actual economic surplus. So we need to know that economic surplus is always the difference between marginal benefit and marginal cost curve, but also that it's up to the point of quantity being sold or purchased. If the market is efficient, then we reap the entire economic surplus in the market. However, if market is inefficient, then economic surplus is just measured up to the actual quantity being produced. So this shaded area is our economic surplus. And then consequently, this loss of economic surplus is our deadweight loss. So market failure leads the actual quantity produced to be less than the efficient quantity. This yields the actual economic surplus equal to the area below the marginal benefit curve and above the marginal cost curve out to the actual quantity. So deadweight loss in this case shows how much greater economic surplus could have been if the efficient quantity were produced. Is the lost economic surplus due to actual quantity falling short of the efficient quantity. So in this example here, the shaded area is our deadweight loss, which shows the loss of economic surplus because we produce below the equilibrium or the efficient quantity. Now let's look at deadweight loss when we produce more than the efficient quantity. So let's consider the possibility that market failure leads to overproduction. So in this case, the actual quantity being produced is more than the efficient quantity. Now let's look at deadweight loss in this market. The largest possible economic surplus is the area below the marginal benefit curve and above the marginal cost curve out to the efficient quantity. So even though there's overproduction, the largest possible economic surplus that the market can get is still this shaded area. So it's always the area below the marginal benefit curve and above the marginal cost curve out to the efficient quantity. So we notice that once production exceeds the efficient quantity, the marginal benefit of producing an extra unit is less than the marginal cost. So this at this actual quantity, this point here is the marginal benefit of producing an extra unit. So marginal benefit of extra unit. But on the marginal cost curve, this point here shows the marginal cost of an extra unit. And we can see that once production exceeds the efficient outcome, the marginal cost of producing an extra unit will be greater than the marginal benefit. So this shows inefficiency. It's simply showing that it costs producers more to produce an extra unit that consumers are willing to pay for that extra unit. So this extra production reduces economic surplus by the amount equal to the difference between the marginal cost and the marginal benefit. So in this case, this is how much economic surplus is reduced. And this is called the deadweight loss in this case. So deadweight loss in this overproduction shows how much economic surplus is destroyed by producing more than the efficient quantity. So this is all that we have on our lesson on deadweight loss. Our next lesson will be on absolute and comparative advantage. If you enjoyed today's lesson, consider subscribing. Thank you.